YouTube channel and twitch.tv/play_agricola. I'm playing an EIK WM France deck G4-5 G8 game with Lumin, nwoll, and touldin. So we're going to be doing a lot of G8 games over the next little while. Donba has generously decided to organize like a sort of like a G8 playtest environment. It's not really a tournament, more hey, play a lot of games and there are some little rewards that he's sponsoring. So we'll probably be doing a lot of G8 games over the next month or two. Do some playtesting of G8. So, looking at this first pile, we got Pilferer, 3 different building resources on this card. Start of each harvest, move one of these resources to your supply. When the last resource is removed, you may pay 1 food to play an occupation. That seems okay. Get a reed, a stone, and a wood. Reed, a stone, a wood, and then play another occupation. Defect: 2 reed when you build your second stable, 3 stone when you build your third, 4 clay when you build your fourth. 2 reed, 3 stone is quite good. I can imagine a nice combo with something like Groom. Swamp Farmer: whenever you sow, you can plant up to a maximum of 2 reed on this card. This reed is treated the same as grain. For each reed you harvest, you get 1 food. No thanks. Clown Lover: start of each round, place 1 food from the general supply on traveling players. When another player uses it, I may pay them 1 food to receive a bonus point. Probably not. Maybe. Witch Doctor: renovate your wooden clay hut at any time if you don't have more rooms than sheep or boar. Pay 1 resource less for every 2 cattle you have this way. So the idea is hold animals and then renovate very easily. So you use this actually saves you actions fully. Like hold all 3 types of animals, and you don't even have to use actions to renovate. So have a 3-room house, have 4 sheep, 4 boar, you renovate no problem, have 2 cattle, and you save on resources as well. That seems quite good. Country Judge: play this card, you may immediately pay 2 reed to choose an occupied accumulation space and receive double the number of goods that are replenished each round. So usually this is going to be play Country Judge, pay 2 reed, and get 6 wood. So that's what this card usually is going to be. Sometimes it might get you animals. When you use the fishing action space, you get 2 wood. So for me, I'm between Pilfer is like a very solid all-around card. Witch Doctor seems to have some upside. So let's try out Witch Doctor here. Being able to reno without using action seems fun. Actually, you know what? I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to get the animals. Let's take Pilfer. Pilfer is like a first pick that's going to fit in any form, any hand. So I don't have to decide what I'm going to do yet. I want to see what the format looks like. Next up, Village Lady looks like the best card here. Start of each round, discard 2 cards from my hand to plow a field. So probably with this card, I'm usually looking to plow 2 fields. Probably not going to plow any more than that. So plow 2 fields with Village Lady seems okay. The rest of these cards are all quite bad, so... Alright. Groupie, so we can really buff up the traveling player's space. Recycler: whenever you renovate, place the resources you paid on this card. Whenever you build rooms, you may use the resources on this card. So like when you reno to clay, you get the resources for a clay room. When you reno to stone, you get the resources for a stone room. Seems quite good, especially with House Steward in the same hand. Smile Merchant: start of each round, if you live in a clay hut, you may play a major or minor improvement. Yeah, it's okay. I haven't really seen a good reason to play this card yet. Field phase of each harvest, vegetable to 3 food and a bonus point. That seems pretty good. I think what I'm doing here is taking Recycler, and I'm planning to try to win the House Steward bonus by using the Recycler resources. So Recycler effectively says your clay rooms cost 2 clay, 1 reed, and your stone room costs 1 stone, 1 reed. So that's quite cheap. So yeah, House Steward coming back would be good. Or someone else playing House Steward would be good. Okay, we've got Supervisor, Pickler, Stable Worker. 3 or more stables when you play this, 2 guest tokens. So this is, we did see a reason to build stables earlier, so here's another payoff. You get the action back plus 1 more. I'm an inspector, beekeeper, adaptive farmer. Play this card, return built stables to take a fencing action and save 3/6 of the wood. So it seems like pretty dangerous for me to pass the defect adaptive farmer. So I think I probably just need to hate draft adaptive farmer here. We've also got Pickler, so there's 2 4-wood occupations in the game to be aware of. But I think this isn't kind of a hate pick adaptive farmer here, because if I don't, someone's gonna be able to collect from defect multiple times. So there's also beekeeper here. Beekeeper really good for the defect and stable worker and everything. So it looks like there's a pretty strong stable strategy available. I wonder if anyone will have picked up on it. But with Village Lady in hand, I really don't mind doing a hate draft. I can always throw away adaptive farmer, so no problem. So you hear some noise in the background. We're getting work done. We're getting some flooring redone, so hopefully it's not too noisy, not too distracting. Lumin's got my first pile right now. All right. Well, interestingly, Witch Doctor came back. I kind of... So, Witch Doctor lets me do the reno at any time. However, it does require that I have the ability to hold the sheep or boar, which I haven't really seen a good way. Like, the stables would be an okay way of doing that, But I don't really have the stables. I don't think I'm going to play Witch Doctor. I don't think I'm going to play Adaptive Farmer. I think I could take Thatcher here. Thatcher, if I expect to build 3 rooms and reno twice, should save me 5 read, which is quite nice. Basically lets me ignore the read. Country Judge is kind of interesting because 2 read, paying 2 read to get 6 wood. You know, we have the rope fences does that, so I don't know. And I could also use it for the animals for Witch Doctor, but don't know if we quite got there. I think what I'm doing here is I'm taking Thatcher. Room discounter when I have recycler in hand seems quite good. Oh, no. No, because it's type paid. It's the type paid. So if I don't pay a read, then I don't save it. Well, if I play Thatcher, I only need to spend 3 read total. So it's pretty similar. Yeah. I just won't put any read onto recycler, unfortunately. This pick looks pretty bad, so I'm going to take Businessman just so it doesn't get passed along. I don't really want to play Martial Artist. Smile Merchant seems okay. It does seem pretty good. And I do want to go to a clay house at a reasonable time with Recycler. Groupie here could be quite good with that clown guy where you get bonus points. I think I'm going to take Smile Merchant here. Groupie's like much more niche. Smile Merchant might actually be usable. Alright. Looking at this pile here. Exhibition. Take 1 grain or 1 vegetable. Return 1 animal for... Or additionally. Oh, okay. So have all 3 animal types and then you get both animal types. That seems pretty good. We could take raspberries here. Meatpacking plant. Start of the harvest, you can return stuff to get 3 food and a bonus point. Okay, straw fence. Whenever you build fences, pay some or all of the cost in grain. Each grain worth 1 wood. Don't have any reason to take that. Printing press. Whenever you play an occupation, 1 wood from your supply on this card. 1 bonus point for each wood on this card. I don't really think I'm going to play all that many ox, so I'm not going to take printing press here. Milk mail. Play this card, 1 food for each harvest remaining. Have to have a cattle. Nah. Candlelight. Pay 2 or more food to play an occupation. 1 food from the supply after you've played the occupation. So Candlelight basically says you don't care if you have to go on the expensive occupation space. I'll take raspberries here. Raspberries is a very solid card. Gets me food in the mid game, so. Yeah, so it's funny, whether I play Thatcher or not, the difference is just because, so like the amount of read I will have to spend, like if I spend a read on the renovation, then I then save it back on the room. But it's probably better for me just to play Thatcher and just not have to pay the read initially at all. So actually, if I play Thatcher, yeah, so I guess with Recycler, I have to pay for the renovation, but then I get it back on the room. But I still, but with Thatcher, I don't have to pay it on the reno or on the room. So yeah, Thatcher is just gonna be. I mean, Thatcher will only save me 3 read because it only really saves me on the 3 rooms. Or on the first room and the 2 renovations, but that's okay. It's probably still worth playing. Okay. Well, if I know I'm gonna get a lot of boar, I can plow. Doe, not really sure. Unexpected. Play this card, breed 1 type of your animals. Heavy plow. Heavy plow is okay. Haven't really seen a reason to play. I haven't really seen a good source of cattle yet. Honestly, this pile is pretty bad for me. Not too much that I want out of here. I could take Flagon maybe. Flagon is a way to get food on family growth if I'm going to family growth a bunch. I don't really want to take passing miners. Ideally, I'd like the passing miners to get passed to me so that I can use village lady. So I think I'll take flagon here. Hopefully I get past flea market. I wouldn't mind playing flea market myself. So if I see it again, I'll definitely take it, but not really too happy with any of these. Dough is a food for a point, which is fine, but flagon, I think, is a bit better. Because dough will never be... I'm pretty much never going to be baking, so... Collector's Vase. At the beginning of each harvest, if you have 12 or more building resources, assume that's supposed to be in your supply, you may return 1 to receive 2 food and a bonus point. So you need to have 15 building resources, because you have to pay 3, and then you have to have 12, then you return 1 for 2 food and a bonus point. Honestly, this card seems okay. 12 resources in your supply is steep, but 8 wood, 2 reed, 2 stone. That's 12 right there. Turning a wood into 2 food and a point seems like a pretty reasonable proposition. Especially if you got a card like Alchemist Lab back. Alchemist Lab gives you 4 building resources right there. Yeah. Chicken Coop does work with Thatcher. So I could maybe take Chicken Coop with Thatcher in hand. It's not a bad idea. Collector's Vase seems like it's not going to be useful at the end of the game. It's not going to be useful in round 1. It's probably not going to be useful in round 2. So it'll be good for 3 harvests. So it's going to be 6 building resources for 5 points and 6 food, which is nowhere near as good. So I think I'm going to take Chicken Coop here. And I would like Alchemist Lab to get played. If nobody else plays it, I will take it. We're gonna let our opponents do the weird stuff, and we're gonna play for the big stone house with reasonable points in other categories, thanks to the help of cards like Village Lady. Closet. Start of each round. Receive 1 building resource of your choice if you have an empty room. Man, oh man, oh man. So this is like Rent Keeper the Miner. The fact that it doesn't give food is something, but... Steel Trap. Yeah, seems good, yeah. Steel Trap. Beginning of each round, if you have 4 or less unused spaces on your farm, you get a food. Cart Pond is good. Mountain Pasture. Whenever you use a stone accumulation space, 1 of the stone you receive on an empty space on your farm and receive 1 wood. The space is considered used and counts as a border for fences. So whenever I'm taking stone, then I'm effectively creating a wall for my pastures. And I get wood as well. Thing is, you don't end up taking stone all that many times. 5 rings is an interesting option. With a card like Smile Merchant, it's a bit better. However, I think I'm going to take closets here. Seems like a pretty solid reason to take closets. Of course, closets, I have to play 2 rooms, and I have to play 2 occupations, play closets, and build the room. So that's a decent amount of work. Especially because I want to play Pilferer and Thatcher. But let's say I play Pilferer and Thatcher in stage 1, which I think is very likely to be the only 2 occupations I will play in stage 1. So if I play those 2 in stage 1, then I would need 3 wood, reedstone food, which I can get 3 wood, reedstone food, and then I need a build room action. So Pilfer, Thatcher, 3 wood, reedstone food. That's 6 moves. So I could be playing closets in round 4 at the earliest, and I have to build a room as well. So that would I would have to have the perfect stage 1 to get closets and the first room. So should not be counting on it. Candlelight is a clay for a point, which seems acceptable. The rest of these cards seem pretty bad. At least for this game. I feel like we got a whole bunch of payoff cards in this draft, but we didn't get any of the support cards. This draft had a whole bunch of cards that were like, if you have a reason to get good early animals, or if you have the ability to get early cattle, you know, if you have basically, if you have acquirer, do this, you know, and that's sort of what that means is you're gonna have a whole bunch of cards which are unplayable in a lot of situations. So I may be gonna have to write about that after the game. It's just like, here's my G8 feedback. Maybe comment on the cards in this draft and just say, hey, a lot of these cards are unplayable unless you have, you know, acquirer. Acquirer is already really good. So I'm not going to take Mud Ground. Unexpected is okay. It is a passing miner, which makes it a little worse for me. I could take Lumber here. Lumber lets me read Stone Food and then start player 3 wood to get... start player and get 3 wood. And Collector's Vase here. So we actually did a couple of the passing miners did get taken. So that's bodes well for our Village Lady. I don't know if I'll play Collector's Vase or not. We'll see. So, starting first here seems good, because what I'm going to do is read Stone Food into second action, start player Lumber. Or second action, Occupation, if they give me Occupation back. Or 3 wood. Any of those would be pretty solid. Make the hand a bit smaller. Nwoll plays Child Psychologist. Still one of the best cards. Still one of the absolute best cards. So Lumin is going to probably Occupation here. He's playing Reed Collector. Well, I'm going to make Lumin sad, but I have no interest in taking 2 wood when I can take 3 wood and keep the start player space. We're going to go for the first rune pretty hard here with Closets in hand. And we have Recycler as a really good reason to build a bunch of rooms. Nwoll gets the 2 clay. Definitely wants the first fireplace with Sheep coming round 1 and Child Psychologist in hand. So I'm going to first move take 3 wood. Maybe I get Cheap Occupation in round 3. Maybe I get Expensive Occupation with my second action. But first move 3 wood. Seems good to me. And second action could be 2 wood. That would get me the wood for Chicken Coop. Don't really want to read Stone Food again, not with Thatcher in hand. Read Stone Food again would be okay, but... Alright, I get Occupation back, which is great. Lumin probably will play an Ock, I would expect. But if Lumin doesn't play an Ock and I get to play a free Ock, that would be even better. Lumin's playing Swamp Farmer. Alright. I'll go ahead and play my Thatcher here. Thatcher is good here because it gives me the option of start player chicken coop. Although what I really want to be doing is start player is occupation pilfer and then start player closets after building a room. Because closets can get me the 7th wood, which is enough for the room plus the 2 wood chicken coop. It looks like I'm either second or first again in round 3, which is awesome. Lumin took a grain. Okay, so Lumin's gonna sow a grain and a reed, which is fun. And we had touldin build 3 sheep in round 2, which is kind of funny, or 3 stables. I'm assuming he's going for the sheep. But then I'm also assuming that he's going to turn those stables. He's going to use those stables for something for sure. I'm pretty happy I took Adaptive Farmer. Man, 3 reed available, but I don't really need 3 reed at all. I could first move take 3 food. I could also play an occupation. I think what I do is first move play an occupation, and second action I should get one of the 3 food actions back. So we're putting out wood, reed, stone. Oh, it's a pile. So I actually get the choice. So what occupation am I likely to play in round 9? It'll probably be a little late for Recycler, unless Family Growth comes in round 7. If Family Growth comes round 7, then I can play Recycler. Otherwise, I might want to play Recycler earlier than that, so I could play Village Lady at that point. Probably Recycler round 9 makes a lot of sense, because then I can reno round 10 and then build a room. So I'm going to take 3 food traveling players here. If he does, it does make my feeding a little awkward for the next harvest. Pretty much need reed, stone food, and then day labor in that case. But yeah, Lumin is planning to sow. So I assume he's got some food source. Let's read Swamp Farmer again. So he gets a food from harvesting his reed. So then round 4 could be build a room and then start player closets. Yeah, especially if I'm last, because nwoll is playing lumber, start player lumber here. So yeah, first move build a room, second move start player closets seems good. Raspberries is a 2 occupation prereq. Yeah, could play. No, definitely want to play closets. The earlier that I can play closets, the better. Yeah, I think Recycler round 9 seems quite late if I'm gonna play closets. Because I'm gonna want to build the clay room really quickly. So so that I can keep collecting those building resources. Because if I do collect enough building resources with closets, then Collector's Vase could actually be playable. Well, I think it's probably playable either way. You know, I think the five, what did I say? 6 resources for 6 food and 5 points. That's okay. You know, that's an okay conversion. Um, but it'll be good if I can get 4. I think if I can get the conversion 4 times, then the card actually goes from okay to good. Good to see lumber making its way around for my village lady. Fingers crossed. Yeah. Well, you know what? We know there's a bunch of passing miners out there. I bet Lumin took the food from 3 reed card with all the reed Lumin has access to. So just as long as, yeah, just as long as people play lots of improvements, that makes me happy. 4 reed, yeah, who needs it? Yeah, nobody needs reed, which is funny. So yeah, Lumin can eat like a raw grain, and then he's got 2 food coming from his swamp farmer here. nwoll can build, so I will first action build for sure. So if I take wood here, I can play chicken coop. I can take wood from my pilferer, even if I don't get to start player closets. Getting 6 clay would be great, but I'm not getting 6 clay. Ooh, is this start player brew feast here? During the field phase of a harvest, place 1 food from each of the next round spaces up to the number of goods which... Oh, yeah. Okay, we've seen this card before. So this is Lumin's getting 3 food from this card. Alright, well, I think I build a room. As much as I would like to take 6 clay, but I think I'm going to build a room here. And while it's building the fireplace. So I wonder if touldin will take the 4 sheep. Touldin did build those stables quite early. Also, I can't play closets anymore, unfortunately. But I could play closets on start player round 5 if family growth doesn't come out. So. Touldin does take the sheep. So let's see what Lumin does here. 6 clay, maybe? If Lumin takes a 6 clay, then maybe I can take reedstone food. I could take 4 reed and plan to build the basket maker's workshop. However, you got to imagine that Lumin will also want the basket maker's workshop. Now, I can get the stone from closets, so that's something for sure. Yeah, I can take 1 stone here and then another stone from closets. But 6 clay, I'm absolutely taking 6 clay. And I'll pilfer a wood. Alright, so I'd love for the well to get built. I would really love to build it myself, but I want my flagon to be useful for food. That's going to help me feed one of my harvests. Wow, round 5 family growth. Okay, so closets doesn't have to come out. We're playing chicken coop on family growth. Chicken coop going to help us with the round 7 and the round 9 harvest especially. So yeah, family growth round 5 is quite good. Thanks, Chris. Thank you to Chris. So I don't have to build a room. So I could take the reed if I want to go for the Basket Maker's Workshop. Could play an occupation. I kind of like taking 5 clay here. 5 clay seems nice. 5 clay, it makes like building the pottery. I've also got candlelight. I've got collector's vase. Yeah, you know what? This lets me play collector's vase probably before the next harvest. Thanks, Chris. Chris hates closets. So if I could get collector's vase out before the next harvest, then it's gonna be I can use it 4 times, and I think 4 times is pretty good. 7 building resources for 8 food and 6 points. That seems good. I'm at 13. I'm gonna spend 2. I do collect 1 from Pilfer, so I'm gonna be at 12. Yeah, as long as I don't like, even if I don't take any more resources, which I obviously will. I was gonna build a room here. I guess he was thinking maybe about getting food to play an occupation with child psychologist, I assume. Yeah, and Wall's gonna have a hard time playing an occupation on Lumin's family growth. He's gonna have to wait a while. Touldin sweeping the sheep was quite difficult for nwoll. It's so funny. We're at round 5 and 5 read is available. So you know how I was saying how the 2 read action is like one of the best moves in EIK and EIK WM France? Yeah, not so much in G8 apparently. Well, you know what? Even in EIK WM France with Reed Collector, Thatcher, and yeah, that card would get worse in that set as well. What's going on, friends? What's going on? Flea market, that's it. So I wouldn't mind playing this card, but I could also discard it for fields. Alright, flea market into my hand. Family growth. Playing chicken coop. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we save a read. Ooh, nwoll goes for a grain here. Interesting. Lumin first action reads stone food. Interesting. Well, he really needs that Basket Maker's Workshop, I suppose. So I can grab the 4 clay with my first move, or I can grab 3 wood. I'll grab 3 wood. I have enough clay right now. I don't need more clay. And then I'll take 2 stone in round 7 and play Collector's Vase. So Collector's Vase plus the 2 food coming in from Chicken Coop. So I need 2 more food after that. So I could take Traveling Players. Not really sure what touldin's doing for food. I could also try to build the... No, I can't build the Basket Maker's Workshop. I don't have time. I do have Flea Market. So Flea Market can kind of get me the extra couple food if I'm stuck. Although that would require me to have 2 major improvement actions. So build another room. I think I'm going to be patient and set up Recycler. And I think that's what I want to do here. Really, really slow play this. I will definitely play Recycler before round 9 when the Pilferer enables it. I'll probably play Recycler like in round 7, I think. This board is like not really that exciting. I guess I'll take 3 Reed Traveling Players. Or 3 Food Traveling Players. Since looks like I need it. Taking 6 Reed is reasonable with Vase Flea Market. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm kind of thinking I can play Flea Market or I can toss it for Village Lady. But I certainly agree that 6 Reed, all that Reed can go into the vase for sure. So I think I can probably get it with my last move. I'm just trying to figure out how my feeding is going to work. But yeah, definitely can take 6 Reed here. So now we're up to 20 resources, so absolutely we can play Collector's Vase. So Lumin's basically obligated to family growth and play the Basket Maker's Workshop because I'm going to pick up 2 stone and Lumin doesn't know that I want Collector's Vase, not... I mean, I would build the Basket Maker's Workshop. If Lumin lets me, I would absolutely build the Basket Maker's Workshop. Touldin fenced, and he fenced kind of strangely. I'm not sure what card Lumin's or Touldin's playing into, but he's certainly playing into some card. No question of that. My Reno's safe. I can take 4 wood. I could take 6 clay. I think I take 4 wood and then Occupation Recycler and then Reno Collector's Vase. I think that's my sequence here. And then I'm ready to build a room at the start of round 8. So family growth round 5 meant that closets is not really going to be good, but family growth coming round 5 was so good for me. Otherwise my feeding would be like a little awkward here. I wouldn't have had time to take all these great resource actions. Ooh, Touldin could Reno. Touldin could Reno. But I guess if Touldin Renos, then he's not taking start player. Oh, I need stone. I can't Reno Collector. I need to take stone and then start player. And while I was playing Wheat Farmer, sure. I think I don't have to play Recycler this game. Yeah, I don't have to. If I'm forced to last action Reno, it's fine. But certainly with how much Reed's available, Recycler seems not as good. Although Recycler will help my Collector. I think Recycler will definitely help my Collector like in round 13. Round 11, round 13. So that's nice. Well, actually, no. Round 11 won't be hard. I think it'll help my recycler in round 9 and round 13. Because if I don't play recycler here, I think I'm going to spend a whole bunch of building resources in round 8, renovating, building a room, and then also probably building major improvements. So 6 wood's available, so I think I'm taking 6 wood. Oh, I also get to collect something. I'll collect this stone from Pilferer. Yeah, thanks, Gray. Yeah, I guess I have the opportunity to build and then family growth, which means I should do that. I have 15 wood, so I don't really need to reno. So, may as well just build and then family growth this round. And I can play raspberries, I can play flea market. Well's not built yet, so flagon's a little worse. I could play raspberries. I could play flagon because then it gives me the mini goal of building the well before the end of round 9, which is something I probably want to do anyways. Touldin plays late breeder. Plays Carter's is your first occupation. 1 boar for every stable you have, 1 cattle for every pasture you have. Wow, really nice. That's fun. So now what I want to see is the animal payoff. I assume there's some animal payoff. There was meat factory. So it could be something like meat factory. What else? I'm not sure what else it could be. Is it worth playing adaptive farmer here? Return 1 or 2 built stables to take a fencing action. Save 3/6 of the wood. Afterwards, you receive 1 animal. So it gets me an. It's a food. It's going to be a food for an animal, effectively. So I could build 2 stables. If I build the stables here, I gain 2 wood and I pay a food for an animal. So yeah, it seems okay. It would be nice to do raspberries before, but you know what? I can raspberries. I can play raspberries on family growth, and then I could actually play adaptive farmer in the harvest with village lady. I could do that. So I wasn't really planning to take adaptive farmer, but it looks like I can do it. So I'm at 13, 16, 18 resources right now, so it's quite a few. Touldin plays Black Hand. Whenever you add room to your clay hut, 2 clay boar instead of 5 clay and 2 wheat. Haha! Alright, here's the payoff. Here's the payoff. His clay rooms are super cheap. 2 clay and he can build 5 rooms for 2 clay and 3 boar. Now the question is it going to be fast enough? Because the fact that I get to family growth again this round is kind of gross. They're not supposed to let me grow this quickly. I'll play raspberries on family growth. And nwoll's gonna child psych something, sure. So I pick up a food here. That puts me at 3. And then when I play Adaptive Farmer, that's going to gain me net 1 food because I have to pay a food for the Adaptive Farmer. So I'm going to go up to 4. Collector's Vase puts me at 6. So then if I plow a field, I'll be at 7. So probably I need to pick up 2 food somewhere. Building the pottery seems like a pretty solid option for getting another 2 food. Yeah, and I'll keep dumping reed onto collector's vase. So probably if I'm gonna spend to reno pottery, I'm probably gonna need to also take building resources as well in the next round. But I'm gonna have 4 actions, so seems okay. Whoa, nwoll straw thatched hut here with bricklayer seems pretty good. So nwoll needs a bunch of food now. Really, that's what he really needs, because he's got the grain with wheat farmer. He's got the 0 clay with bricklayer. So yeah, nwoll really just needs food. He says, I'm glad you don't have bricklayer to touldin. Yeah, that would be pretty good. Yeah. Build clay rooms for the cost of 1 boar each. Family growth round 5 was so good for me compared to nwoll and touldin. Family growth round 5 was so good for me. If family growth was round 7, this game would be a lot worse. So it looks like Reno's safe for the moment. So I could do something different, like take wood. Yeah, take 3 wood looks fine. Okay, so if I reno pottery, I don't eat the clay until after collector's vase activates. So I will have 9 wood, 1 clay, and I'll have 3 reed. So I'm good. I have enough to reno pottery here. I think I'm going to take 1 boar because Adaptive Farmer can get me the 2nd boar and then I breed them right away. It could get me a cattle as well and then I could take 1 cattle, but the cattle doesn't breed right away, so I think it's okay. I think it's worth going for. So take a boar, reno, and then 1 more move. Take 3 wood, I suppose. I could start player. Could take 2 stone. I want 3 stone next round, though. I'll take 3 wood, sure. 3 wood feels like a bit of a chump action in this game because of how the way that my opponents are building rooms. They don't need 3 wood actions at all, which is kind of funny. But the clay is quite contested, so I guess the clay being so contested makes the pottery a bit worse. I wonder if I should actually, because I could actually build the joinery instead of the pottery. Because I am going to probably want to build a cooking hearth. So if I'm going to want to build a cooking hearth, it's going to be difficult to get enough clay with what nwoll and touldin are both doing. I guess nwoll doesn't really need clay anymore. It's mostly just touldin. So, yeah. Oh, Lumin's playing Entrepreneur here. That's hilarious. Never see this card played. So I guess he's going to grab a building resource. Oh, it's at the start of each round. Right. Do I want... Do you want ants? Because this is how I get ants. Yeah, Reno take a boar seems okay. If I'm gonna take the boar, then that's really seems to make the cooking hearth even more valuable. Yeah, let's take the boar. Sure. So Reno pottery. I can fence more than this, I guess. So that's free, and I could just fence all the rest right now. I may as well fence max, yeah. Fence 15, save 6 wood. R2 vase. And then 6 food and a clay. Yeah, looks good. And I should be able to get the 5 fields very easily with Village Lady. Looks good. Yeah, looks really good. So first move 3 stone if I get it. Merchant. Smile Merchant next round. Oh, alright. Merchant next round. Honestly, I don't even think I even really need to play Smile Merchant. I could. If I'm gonna build the well, I could play Smile Merchant instead of doing the well action. So yeah, I can definitely do that. So I'm gonna first action take 3 stone. Yeah. So instead of building the well with an action, I can play Smile Merchant. Thing is, I'm gonna want to start throwing away cards for fields. So keeping like if I play the well on major minor, then it lets me do stuff like start player flagon next round, which seems okay. I need building resources as well because I'm at 9 right now. I'm gonna want to get to 12 obviously for my vase collector. So could do 3 wood. Oh, and I'm gonna spend if I'm gonna spend for my well, yeah. Maybe I have to take 4 reed again. Although 3 reed is enough for the rest of the game. I can also play Flea Merchant. So I'm gonna want 4 clay next round. I might even want 4 clay and 3 clay. 4 clay and 3 clay. I might do that. I could keep taking the 3 wood. That puts a lot of pressure on my opponent's fencing. Might help me get better resource grabs. Although nwoll's got 2 stables here, and touldin's got obviously capacity for a bunch of animals, so not totally sure what direction I should be going in here. nwoll's playing defect. So he misses out on the reed, but he's going to get stone and clay when he builds more stuff. Yep. Oh, the 3 wood's gone. Maybe I have to take 4 reed here. Just because there's not a whole lot else for me to do. I could also plow a field. Just plow a field. Yeah, plowing is fine. If I could get... What do I want? 2 fields out of Village Lady? I'm going to want to pick up 2 cattle next round. 2 cattle will be worth quite a bit. Yeah, it's funny. I could just actually plow. Yeah, I don't actually need to play Village Lady. I could just plow a bunch of times. Thing is, plow 1 field is not really that good. So if I'm going to plow 1 field twice, then it's fine for me to play Village Lady. It's 1 food to gain an action, which is good, so. 1 food to gain an action, definitely good. Building the well here will make my collector difficult. So if I'm going to build the well, I probably also need to take 4 reed. The problem is that reed is fairly useless, except for just enabling the collector. I mean, it turns on... I could use it for flea market as well. Like, there are ways for me to use it for sure. I could even play a card like Businessman and then start player build the well instead of Major Minor build the well. Could also place, yeah. Because if I play Businessman, then if I start player twice more, which I probably want to do, I could play Businessman and then start player flea market into flea market into the well. I could do that. Because I only really want, you know, it probably lets me play the same number of improvements as Smile Merchant does. And I'm going to run out of miners to play on start player. So if I play Smile Merchant, I think I will run out of miners to play on start player. So I think Businessman into start player here is okay. Which is funny because I played with Lumin yesterday and I also played Businessman then. Or was that 2 days ago? Games all become a jumble. I think I played with Lumin yesterday and I played Businessman in that game. Yeah, because I'm going to want to build a cooking hearth as well, so I think this is okay. Start player, I'll play flea market. I'm going to put a reed. So there's no good pairs of animals, so I'm going to first action grab 4 clay next round. So I'll put the reed on the clay space, get 3 food, and then I'm going to build the well. I used Businessman to great effect yesterday. Yes, look at all those wells. Alright, so I'm sitting at 9 building resources. So I could take 3 wood. Could just take 5 reed. 5 reed turns on the vase. It's probably good enough. Yeah, if I take the 5 reed, I can also afford to play Village Lady. Harvest at least 1 grain field. You receive a grain from the supply. Harvest a vegetable. Wow. It's a pretty strong effect, but it's quite expensive. 4 occupations, 2 stone, 1 reed. It does have 2 points on it. I'll grab the 5 reed here. It'll let me collector in the next round at least. Or in the next 2 harvests at least. Touldin says would be nice with rum distillery and schnapps distillery. Well, schnapps distillery was in this draft. Don't know if Touldin's forgotten that or not. But schnapps distillery got passed around. So I'm going to play 2 occupations with Village Lady. So I could play it here or I could play it next round. There's a chance we start getting plow sow falling into our lap. So I should start taking crops. So I can actually use plow sow. Like take a vegetable or something. Certainly, it looks like we're going to be doing like a start player flag in cooking hearth at some point. Or a start player flag in oven or joinery. We also have closets, we got candlelights, we have some options. How highly will Touldin take 4 clay? Wondering how highly Touldin will take 4 clay next round. If I should take 3 clay here. This game casually take 5 reed off the space in the Basketmaker's Workshop. The owner doesn't flinch. Yeah. Yeah. Lumin's got access to enough reed. That's for sure. That is for sure. For sure. Take a veg here. Oh, Touldin did took the 3 clay. Yeah, build 2 more clay rooms makes a lot of sense. Take a veg here. So maybe last move Village Lady here, or take 1 grain. Take 1 grain seems fine. I can play Village Lady next round. I can take grain next round. Yeah, I can play Village Lady here. Lumin will plow sow if that's what gets flipped over. Then I maybe... What do I do with my first move? Probably start player. Yeah, probably my first move next round is start player. Ooh, heavy plow here. Very nice. Very nice for Touldin. Yeah, heavy plow is a really dangerous card to pass around because it can be really, really ridiculously good. So read to FF point, and then clay, feed 8. For food RC, breed the boar. And then toss recycler, and toss smile merchant. And while it says it gives a reminder, if you're able, please comment or vote on all the G8 cards we are seeing. Yeah, I'll comment on a few of them for sure. Could first move plow. Oh, let's see what Child Psychologist reveals. No, I'm gonna start player. And while plays Stable Worker. Nice. Yeah, I did not plan on playing Adaptive Farmer. Alright, we could play Closets here, or we can play Flagon. Do I need the food from Flagon? Closets is a point, which is appealing. I can't play Cooking Her, so I actually don't have a major improvement I can play. So I would play 2 minors here. So I can only afford to play 1 more minor, and I don't have the resources to play a major. So no major improvement then. So no start player quite yet. So I could take 2 stone and then start player Joinery. That uses a lot of building resources. Maybe I just plow or take the sheep. I'm not really sure what I should be doing here. I'm going to take the 2 sheep for now. Maybe the 2 clay fireplace gets returned, and then I can start player and build that. So we should assume touldin has that card, which is going to get him a grain and a vegetable. So he's going to use that on start player at some point before a big heavy plow action. Yeah, plows 3 fields here with heavy plow. Heavy plow is quite a good one. Quite a good card. I could take 2 clay here, and then that lets me start player Cooking Hearth. It's not great, because it's going to make it very difficult to Collector's Vase in round 13, but the Cooking Hearth seems nice. Unless I also want to take 2 stone and build like a random clay oven, but... Nah, because I want to last action take grain, because I'm going to start player last move. Unless nwoll start playering here. nwoll might be playing start player here. Yeah, nwoll is taking start player here. Well, I'll try to start player around 13. Or round 13. Yeah, start player first move round 13. Touldin plays Exhibition, unsurprisingly. Yeah, we knew that was coming at some point. So probably another Plowsow action for touldin. So then if Lumin start players, then I can't start player. So, but nwoll I don't think will start player. So if Lumin has anything else to do, like maybe taking 2 cattle, then we can get start player around 13. All the stone in this game. This game has been have had a very low stone count, and I think it's because Reedstone Food has been so weak. Reedstone Food's been a really weak action because no one's really needed a whole lot of reed, and there's been a decent amount of food. So really, it's that's meant that there hasn't been as much stone in the game because considering how many major improvements are still available and only nwoll looks likely to get to a stone house. That's pretty unusual for this kind of game. So right now I have 14 building resources. So I have 14, so if I spend 5 playing Flagon and Cooking Hearth, that puts me at 9. Means I need to pick up 3 to enable Collector. So like 3 stone or 3 wood. If I take 3 stone, I do also have the option of building joinery and keeping the clay. I also don't have to play Flagon. I can take 2 stone and then play Flagon. Or not play Flagon, play Closets instead. Ooh, touldin sowed here, which is kind of surprising. Does that mean he's going to first action start player? Or is he banking on nwoll plow sow, then he will get family growth? Take the 2 stone here. Gives me options. I can clay oven or joinery. Or take 2 stone again and rando do a stone house in the final round. So I'm going to have 5 food in round 13. If I collector, that's 7 food. And then if I play another, if I pay a clay, that's 9 food. But I'm going to need food in the final round. The final round is going to be difficult. That's the reason for me to play Flagon, basically. Yeah, Witch Doctor. Yeah, I figured Touldin had Witch Doctor. But the fact that he wasn't able to use it for the clay reno hurt quite a bit. Alright. As much as I would like 2 cattle here, start player is really good. If I'm going to build a cooking hearth, I don't need Flagon. You know what? If I play joinery, I can take wood and then hold wood and reed and still collector's vase in the last round. So that means I'm okay playing Flagon here, I think. Yeah, cattle are gone. That's okay. So I have 11 resources, so taking 4 wood seems like a good action. 4 wood or 3 wood. Both of those would be good moves for me. I'm gonna toss closets and candlelights for a field at the start of round 14, and then I'm gonna do plow sow. So taking vegetable would be a 2-point action. Yeah, I can definitely take vegetable. Lumin said, I thought leaving 2 cattle would be enough incentive for me not to start player. Nah, with businessman in hand, start player is too good. Giving Lumin his late businessman actions he didn't yesterday. He was hoping for me to use businessman a lot later. Game changer. nwoll plays Potter. That's a game changer. And touldin says the exact same thing. Take 4 wood here. So then I could take a grain. Grain is a 2-point play for me. And while getting all the animals here. Lumin says my gambles are not paying off. Poor Lumin. Yeah, certainly sitting in front of the businessman is very bad. Makes you very sad. Grab grain here, I suppose. Not really sure what else is left. I could, I guess I could sow bake. I could sow bake. That gets me 1 extra vegetable. But I can still only sow 1 grain. So yeah, sow bake is only a 1-point play here. Yeah, it's pretty crazy how I was able to get all that read. That read, for all it's doing mostly is paying for a collector's vase and enabling collector's vase. So between pottery, joinery, and the read, I should be able to hit collector's vase in the last round, which means I'm gonna have triggered it 1, 2, 3, 5 times. 5 times seems quite good. 5 times seems really good. Yeah, unusual game. This is a highly unusual game. Very highly unusual game. Multi-purpose reed. I mean, it's not really that multi-purpose. I've only used it for one purpose. uh, rare opportunity to capitalize on a devalued resource. That is an excellent way of saying it. Very, very eloquent, Relocren. Very, very eloquent. Not too much left for me to do here. So I could do the 1 point vegetable play, or I could take four food fishing. But there's going to be 4 food traveling players available next round, so 4 food fishing. Sorry, 4 food fishing seems not very good. So I'll do the 1 point vegetable play. May as well. So these guys are going to breed. These guys are going to breed. I'm going to eat a reed for 2 food and a point there. I'm going to eat a clay. There's going to be 3 clay available, and there's going to be 3 wood available. So that gives me 2 potential 2-point moves. So I guess I don't eat the clay or the wood here. So I just eat the reed and then feed 8. Yeah. Toss for a field. Yes, I will do that. Definitely doing that. Whoops. I'm on Plow-So. Oh, I wonder if House Steward is coming out here. Seems like it's probably not worth it for me to go for House Steward, but I do have 6 reed. If I took clay, I could then build a room, and then it would also let me family growth. But probably just better to take 3 wood, 3 clay, and a boar, or in a cattle. So I have 6 food right now. So I can eat 2 grain, which is eating 1 point to get to 8. Or if I don't take clay or wood, I could eat one of those, which is not eating any points to get to 8. So Plow-So family growth doesn't actually seem that good. It's fine. I mean, it's 2 points. It's not 3 points right now. And while it takes 3 wood, I should be able to get 3 clay. I'll take 2 cattle. I'll take the cattle if I can. Yes, this is a game where all my opponents played into their cards, and I really kind of played into. Okay, so one of the things you have to understand about this game is that the stuff that's available to everyone, you're all fighting for it. So very often, the strategy that lets you bypass what everyone's fighting for ends up being very strong. So then, so people will look at cards that let you do that and say, well, I should play into this because it's going to let me bypass the slog over building resources, the slog over the family growth queue, the slog over major improvements. Well, because my other 3 opponents all did that to such a degree, and while setting up his grain rooms, touldin setting up his boar rooms, and Lumin setting up his reed and barn feast and everything, that just meant that there was way too much available for me, way more than there should have been. So then I ended up benefiting a lot from that. I'll take the 3 clay here. I have a bunch of 1-point moves left for my last move. Taking boar, taking traveling players. Yeah, Lumin says he thinks with G8 there's usually going to be an inflated resource. Lumin's got Schnapps Distillery. We figured that was coming. So yeah, I can take a boar, I can take 2 wood, I can take traveling players. Doesn't really matter what I do here. Actually, traveling players is not good here. I should do anything other than traveling players. Take a boar, take a boar? Sure. That takes away stuff that's available for my opponents. So I'm putting 3 points on there because there's 2 points inherent on the card. I breed. The boar in like these 3 pastures. So I do have room for them. Harvest, but the harvest does not really matter. No bonus points other than the candle maker. So I have my final score locked up here. Conditional cards with macro effect depending on the game. Right. Oh, Pickler. I wonder if Lumin's going to play Pickler at the end here. So end with 56. So should be enough for the win. I have a hard time seeing anyone else getting 56. Even with the 3 wood occupations available. Lumin plays Master of the Manor. That's not Pickler. At the end of the game, if you exceed the 4-point thresholds for fields, pastures, or goods in blah 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 categories, you get some bonus points. Alright. So he exceeds in grain and vegetables, and that's it by my count. So it's a 2-point Master of the Manor. Ooh, fence 11 with straw fence. I forgot about straw fence. Or did he just play it at the end here? I might have missed it at the end here. I'm not sure when nwoll played straw fence, but that's good. That's a good card there. So nwoll might get to the 50s. The 56 for me. Lumin scores 45. Touldin got 51, so Touldin was closest. So 45, 56, whatever nwoll scored. nwoll announces score. 44, 51. GG. Alright, good game. Let's go vote on some of these cards, I suppose. I can do that. Wonder if there are any G8 stats. If there are any meaningful stats from the draft. 348 785. I wonder. Yeah, no G8 stats. Yeah, I wonder where Pilfer will end up. I would imagine it's probably pretty solid. It's similar to Old Hiker in that you play it, you get the action back, and you also get building resources. Difference being you have to pay a food to get the action back, and you're getting 3 building resources over time instead of 1 at once. Yeah. GG. So yeah, I'm gonna look at some of the cards and comment on some of the cards, but I think I'll do that offline. So I'm gonna say thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed this little video. I will be back tomorrow, and you know what day it is tomorrow? It's Tuesday. So that means 2-Win Tuesday tomorrow. So we'll probably be streaming for quite a while. Yeah. I'm going to keep trying to do the J4 tournament games when I can. So it's still a goal of mine to get more games in of that. Otherwise, I'll probably be playing lots of G8 because Donba is, really putting the effort in to get people to play G8. So I'll be trying that. And hopefully we can do lots of iteration on the different collections and help the cards to become more refined, maybe get a better format overall. So GG. Yeah, thanks, Rylocren. I think Lumin streamed this, so you can check out his perspective at twitch.tv/Lumin_S. He also has a YouTube channel that you can check him out at, so you can see him there. So, alright guys, we'll see you next time. Bye.